Hello everyone, good morning. It's always a good feeling to be here to share my ideas. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the importance of acquiring parenting skills. Parenting has become a big challenge these days for reasons that I think should be obvious to everyone. I've had a chance to talk to a few young parents in the recent past with children who are in the pre-adolescent stage, very formative years of their lives, impressionable age. The parents that I had the opportunity to talk to have kind of expressed their helplessness, if I may say so, to be able to properly impart knowledge and wisdom to their children. That's the ultimate objective, it's not really surprising because there were days when children were confined to the four walls of home, when the only major influence would be their elders, parents, and the kind of family environment that they had, the family culture that they had, the practices that were there within the family. That was the only major influence. Not anymore. Not anymore. Particularly with the advent of social media. So the parenting skills has acquired even a lot more importance these days, because in the social media there could be good and bad, as we all know. There are good and bad. And with the easy availability of cell phones, internet, etc., and the familiarity that the children do acquire quite early in their life with all this technology, they are free to access whatever they want in the social media. So the parent would have to acquire proper skills to be able to guide, channelize the energy of the kids properly. To offset possibly the bad effects, adverse effect of social media accessibility by the kid. Furthermore, the peer pressure these days have become a lot more. When pre-adolescent children, when they actually interact with one another, the maturity would be lacking. But there could be exceptions. There could be precocious children, as they say, children who would actually mature quite fast, even beyond their age, and all that. I'm not actually talking about them. I'm actually talking about the average children. So the children, kids, would be quite inclined to ask questions. And the parent, one of the things about parenting skills is that the parent should be patient enough, knowledgeable enough, mature enough, and communicative enough to be able to explain things properly to the children at that stage. Yeah, it's a big test for the parents too. See, I am actually reminded of the saying that the child is the father of man. What does it mean? So in this case, from the child, the child's behavior, the parent himself learns quite a lot. That's the reason why they say the child is the father of man. So the result of all that is that it has become a lot more imperative, as they say, for the parents to acquire competent parenting skills. See, there is a subject in a branch of psychology which is called developmental psychology. It was developed by a German-American psychologist by name Erikson. He said the whole life can be divided into 7 stages. At each stage, every man or woman has a kind of psychosocial conflict. Conflict because of the confusion, because of lack of clarity. So now we are going to be talking only about the pre-adolescent stage. Pre-adolescent stage is a stage when there could be a conflict between the identity and the role that the kid or the children is supposed to play. See, at the pre-adolescent stage is a stage when there is a lot of biological changes, physical changes. With the result that the pre-adolescent child begins to begins to realize, not so consciously I would say, at a very subconscious level, they begin to realize that they are really growing up. They are growing up, and they are growing up to become an adult eventually, but that gives them the kind of misplaced confidence to perceive that they have already grown to be an adult. So when the perception that they have already grown to be an adult is there, then it also gives a kind of misplaced confidence. Children, there is a tendency, there would be a tendency for the child to become overconfident. When the confidence is overblown, there would be an inclination to take initiatives, act by themselves. In the process of acting, in the process of taking initiatives and acting by themselves, desiring to do by themselves, taking their own decisions, etc., it may or may not be allowed by the parent. That's a different question that we can actually talk later, if time permits. Otherwise, we can actually keep it for a different thing. So in the process of deciding, taking independent decisions and moving, there could be a block. Children may not actually have the desired outcome. When they don't have a desired outcome, they are confused. So they have to go and ask someone. That is when the curiosity comes. The curiosity is a kind of intellectual curiosity, I would say. That's the process of growing up. There is a process of growing up and acquiring correct perspectives on a variety of things, acquiring correct worldview that would actually set the stage for them, that would provide the right platform for them to grow, fully evolve as really mature individuals in their life, which would stand in good stead for them throughout their lives. So the parents, as part of the parenting skills, what they should realize is that they should be not be surprised or shocked by the kind of questions that the children may ask. They may ask any kind of questions. The parent should acquire the skill to be able to respond meaningfully, positively, without curbing the curiosity of the child. It's never a good idea to curb the curiosity of anybody, more so of the child, because curbing the curiosity, intellectual curiosity, would also stunt the intellectual growth, intellectual development of the child. Parenting skills would actually call for the parent to become really more mature by themselves. It would actually call for a lot of introspection. It would leave the parents themselves confused, because this is the first experience for the parents too. Hitherto the parents would have assumed that whatever they say would be final and they would be able to have their way with the children. That's not so anymore. The child begins to confront, the child begins to ask questions that may not be really very palatable to the parent. Not palatable to the parent, I mean the questions may not be unpalatable all the time, but sometimes it may not be. For example, if the child is going to be asking questions about the biological changes in the body, in the case of a girl child, it will be even more complicated. It will be up to the mother to explain properly. So the mother has to develop the parenting skill to be able to say that in a language so couched so that the children are able to understand simply. Not providing too much of information, but providing enough information for the children to deduce the proper response, proper answers, what is right, what is wrong, etc. So, all these things are really part of parenting skills. Parents should know the importance of keeping their cool, being very relaxed, not being anxious at all. Because there is a theory in psychology, which particularly mental health counseling, as they would say, there is a theory called transference theory. My emotions does not just stay with me. By my positive or negative emotions, I do convey a message to the one who is actually listening to me. Particularly in the case of the child, if the parent shows the anxiety by the way they respond, the children is bound to become anxious too. So that is going to lead to even greater confusion in the children's mind, the child's mind. So let's not talk too much about transference and counter-transference, which is a very it's enough to know that the parents should not show their anxiety. They have to be relaxed, they have to be cool, and to some extent understand the psychology of the child, the development process of the child, to be able to mentor the child, advise the child, coach the child properly. For some time, this is a passing phase. This is a passing phase. This is not going to remain forever. The pre-adolescent stage, all of us who have grown would know, the parents themselves would know it's a passing phase. The child has to be given time to mentally adjust to the biological changes and the physical changes, psychological changes. So it's just a passing phase. Maybe it will last for about 2 or 3 years, in some cases not even that much. And definitely it would be a very, very good idea for the parent, both the parents or single parent or both the parents, to seek the help of a professional counselor, not on a day-to-day basis, maybe on a monthly basis, so that they are proceeding on the right direction. All of these things matter so much for the child. From the child's point of view, it's so crucially important. So, it's not a rocket science. It's possible to do. It's not really all that difficult. So there is no need to feel anxious from the parent's point of view. So this presentation is mainly addressed to the parents and to tell them, to let them know about the importance of acquiring parenting skills and the proper way to do so. They could actually discuss, they can actually form a group among themselves to have a meaningful interaction about to know about each other's experiences with the child. All of these things would promote better understanding. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Do take care.